That's the our picks for the conference tournaments. We announced our first, second, and third team All Americans, our Player of the Year, our Coach of the Year, Freshman of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Transfer of the Year. Announced all that stuff today. I want
You
to
did? I didn't see it.
take like 5 minutes to go through it. So here's the biggest thing, and we're getting so much pushback on this, but you guys know. I don't know if you. I think fan of you voted. Tio, I don't know if you actually got the vote in, but we put out a
I
vote.
was the first person to finish
You
the
were the
vote.
first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no names that when it came through on the poll, there were no names. So we did a
What?
vote for when you register. So I did it on a Google form, and there's no
Yeah.
names that show that who sent in the form doesn't show up when I see it.
Oh,
All I see is
okay.
just the
That makes
results of the
sense. I
pick.
thought you meant like I sent in a blank form. No,
No,
I
no, 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 no. I
I was
don't
like the
know.
first one to send it in.
I don't know who makes picks on anything. So we ended up with co-players of the year because they were the exact same number of votes for Janai Broom and for Cooper Flag in the poll that we did of everybody on the field of 68 after dark.
Okay.
And we are getting like I've had like people being like, "You're such a bitch. This is such a cop out. What is wrong? You can't give co-players of the year." I personally voted for Cooper slightly over Janai. I think there's a very strong argument for both of them. Is this a cop out? Should we have gone one or the other, To?
I think they're both equally deserving of player of the year. This is one of the rare cases where they're both deserving. Is it a cop out? That yeah, it might be. I don't care. Just they were both deserving of it this year.
That's kind of where
I'll
I
tell
am.
you what's even crazier in my mind is the coach of the year situation
Mhm.
because I voted for who ended up getting it.
John Shire.
That's who I voted for. So
It was me. So it was me and you. It was me. There were two votes for Shire, and then every other coach got one vote.
yeah, I voted for Shire. The weird thing is I didn't vote him for conference coach of the year,
Oh, come
but
on.
national coach of the year I voted for him
How is that possible?
because I thought Pat Kelsey over the course of a year was
Oh, yeah, but he's done a great job, but that's crazy. You
that's not
can't
crazy.
can't be.
Not in my mind.
I
Not
get
in my
no, I
mind. It
get
makes
it. I
sense in
get
my
it.
mind.
I get it
I
because
understand where like that would sound crazy, but in my mind, it's like, well,
he put it together in ACC. Like they were horrible in non-conference, and they put it together in ACC.
they're
I
18
understand.
and 2 in conference play at Louisville, and they've officially brought back the Louisville brand
Yeah, I
like that. But
understand.
national coach of the year, I picked Shire. It
I
makes
know.
no sense, but that's how I voted.
It makes no sense, but I understand it.
Yeah,
If that makes
exactly.
sense.
Yep.
It makes no sense, but I understand it.
Yeah.
Fanta, where do you stand on the co-players of the year?
Well, I don't love Coing awards, but I think if you're going to do it in a year, this is the year. I'm sure it was about even, if not totally even.
Hmm.
And I would go with Cooper Flag because I do think that he has had the best all around season in his impact on the game. But I also think that that's disrespectful. And, could understand why it would be taken that way by Janai Broom, who's averaged 19, 11, and 3. And like Saturday, I mean, 34 points. He did 5 blocks, 8 rebounds, 3 steals. Like if you're trying to make a push or you're trying to advocate again, he showed himself yet again. So it's really hard to say that one is more deserving than the other. I would say the best player in the sport is Cooper, but Janai from start to finish has had a national player of the year season. So I don't think I think it's right. I think it's right to give them both the honor. I believe it's fair. I would have picked Cooper. I voted for Cooper.
I voted for Cooper.
Freshman of the year, obviously Cooper Flag. There's not really much to discuss there. Defensive player of the year, we ended up with Jemai Mashak at Tennessee. There were a couple other guys that got votes. I think Kalkbrenner got a vote, or got a
I
couple
voted
votes.
Meshack.
Yeah, like I went with Mashak. It'll be interesting. I don't even know if he'll end up being the SEC player of the year, defensive player of the year, because there's so, like you can make the argument for Elijah Martin, who shuts everybody's water off there. There's a whole bunch of guys in that league. Denver Jones is an elite on-ball defender, but Mashak to me just he epitomizes what makes Tennessee, and he literally won games with his defense a couple times this year. Specific, like it was the Alabama game. He made two plays on the stretch there that won that game that allowed them to.
Does that show up on analytics, Rob?
No,
Because I got cooked by Duke because they're sending me a bunch of team based metrics defensively, And it's like whoever's running that social media account struggling to know ball.
I'll 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 tell
Yeah.
you why that happened. I have a little info on that for you, but I cannot share it publicly. So
Okay.
as soon as we are done recording here, I will tell you what happened there. You're gonna laugh when you find out about it.
Oh, okay.
Transfer of the year. We ended up with John Tanji, and here was another one where we backed ourselves into a corner, but I stuck with how
Who
the
else got
voting
votes
went.
there? Because I can't remember who I voted for.
Chucky Hepburn.
Yeah.
So John Tanji got transfer of the year.
I
John
voted.
Tanji was the second team All American for us.
Yeah.
Chucky Hepburn got votes for transfer of the year, and Chucky Hepburn was a first team All American for us.
Hmm.
So we ended up with a first team All American transfer that was not our transfer of the year. And I tried
Our
to be
voting
honest with
situation's off the wall here.
I tried to be honest with the way that the voting situation went. I wanted to be true with what the spirit of the field of 68 was. And I'll tell you what, having co-players of the year and a transfer that wasn't on the first team All-American when there was a transfer on the first team All-American is probably like that sums up the field of 68
Yes.
pretty nicely. Pretty
Yeah, it
nice.
does.
All right. First team All-Americans, Braden Smith, Walter Clayton Jr., Chucky Hepburn, Cooper Flagg, Janai Broom. Do you guys have any problem with any of those five?
I would
Oh,
have put Mark
Chucky.
Sears. Mark Sears over Chucky Hepburn.
I would probably, and I love Chucky, but I would probably venture that direction as well.
Yeah. I ended up with Sears on the second team personally, just because of the way there were moments where Mark Sears had to be put on the bench. And
Yeah.
and I
And
just
you noticed.
yes. So I just went with the guy that never had a situation where he had to be put on the bench. But that's not a slight to Mark Sears. To me, there were 7 first team All Americans in college basketball this year. Mark Sears and Cam Jones got the short end of the stick on that one. Our second team, Mark Sears, Cam Jones, RJ Lewis, John Tanji, and JT Toppin at
Yeah.
at Texas Tech, who had an unbelievable year that I don't think enough people recognized.
Yep. He was on
Tio,
mine. Yep.
Tio, when you're at the Mountain West tournament and you're doing a New Mexico game, make sure you discuss the fact that there was a 3-day period
I know.
from
I've already talked to. I did a Mountain West pod the other day. And that's crazy.
yeah. I don't know if you know this, fan. From April 28th until April 30th, New Mexico had Donovan Dent returning to school, Nelly Jr. Joseph returning to school, JT Toppin had not yet put his name in the portal, and John Tanji was committed to the Badgers.
It is
No,
amazing. To
not to the
Lobo,
majors, to the Lobos.
which
To
is
the Lobos,
amazing.
to the Lobos, yeah,
And
to the Lobos, sorry, to the
Richard's
Lobos.
done a tremendous job and deserves to be in the National Coach of the Year mix. He's done an outstanding job with his team. The way they've grown since November is also remarkable with a lot of key returnees, but like Dent and Nelly Jr. Joseph are incredible. I mean, that is an amazing thing. It is. It's that I that is amazing. I think it's the truth. I will say this: if I hear that in the future, if I hear that during the tournament, I'm going to take a sip of beer each time I hear that now because I think I've heard it 12 times.
Yes.
Like no less than it is brought up on
How many
almost.
times? How many times was it Kevin Sweeney saying it?
Oh my God! Oh, oh man!
Oh, sweetie.
The
Oh,
firm of Patino, Medved, and Valentine.
13 All Americans. Donovan Dent, Javon
Patino
Small.
Medved in English. In English.
In English.
He's doing some serious PR work for Kim English.
I haven't seen him do that this year, but
13 All Americans. Donovan Dent, Javon Small, Chaz Lanier, Eric Dixon, and Ryan Kalkbrenner. Is there anybody
who just became the 4-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year, joining Patrick Ewing.
good for him, man?
Most improved Zuby Ejiofor, sixth man Terrace Reed. Sportsmanship Award. You'll like this one, Robbie. Jerome Hunter. Very nice pick by the
Yes.
coaches there. He deserves it.
Yep, he deserves recognition. Anybody that we missed, anyone that is not one of our three on our 3 All-American teams that you believe is an egregious snub?
Did you put PJ Haggerty?
That's the one guy.
Yeah,
So I had him on.
I think I did
had him
too.
on.
Mhm.
And I really felt bad not putting an Iowa State guy on.
You know who I felt the worst?
I don't
not
feel
having
bad
on
about
there?
that.
Yeah, I don't know if there was an Iowa State guy that deserved it.
Are you guys
LJ
on your
Cryer.
laptops?
No,
Like,
Huh?
Can you Google search Keyshawn Gilbert's name? Just see what the first. You got to do it. You have to do it. Just. Oh my God.
Lord. The first picture that pops up of him for the people listening is uh I don't know if he got hit in the face or what, but he's
Man's bleeding.
Blood leaking all over the place. That's lovely. The hard one for me was LJ Cryer. LJ Cryer and PJ Haggerty were the two that I thought deserved it, that just did not get the votes needed to be on that team. So listen, gentlemen, it's been fun. We got the DTF podcast done. Elon Musk was fighting against us. Our streaming software was fighting against us, but Zoom came through. John Fanta came through. Terrence Oglesby came through. And you guys have we have a big week coming up. I'll be in Charlotte. Tio will be in Vegas. Fanta will be in the city that never sleeps. You'll be on the court. You'll be throwing bowls to Red Panda.
I'm on the sidelines.
You doing sideline?
First 5 games.
There he is.
Got sidelines for Marquette Xavier.
That'll be fun.
The post game.
Wow. Yes. Okay.
That post game interview, if either coach, but please, Sean Miller, do not be too hard on me on national television.
I can't. I actually can. I might text him right now and say if you beat Marquette, you have to ask Fanta how the Browns are doing.
No,
on national televition. You have to ask
Champ Week. Not during Champ Week, please. Please. And then
it's fitting that they put
that. Don't do
put
that.
a Browns fan on Champs Week. When was the last time the Browns were the champs? And all you got to hit him back with, how about those Cavaliers? How about those Cavaliers, Sean?
No, I'll hit him back when was the last time the Steelers won a postseason game? It's been over a decade.
Hey, talk is Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Stiller.
Oh my God,
it's going to be a Stiller.
He would fit. He would fit with some of their beliefs.
Oh boy! All right, here we go. And this has been the DTF.
I hate Steeler fans.
This has been the DTF podcast. We will see you guys again on Monday. Next time we get together, fellas, we're going to have a bracket. And what we are going to do, we've done this the last 2 years. The 3 of us are going to go through. We're going to have a vote on every single game in the bracket. We're going to fill out an entire NCAA tournament bracket, and we're going to allow Fanta's beautiful wife to be the one that breaks any ties in case we end up in that situation. Yes. For John Fanta, for Terrence Oglesby, I'm Rob Dosser. We will see you guys on next Monday.